Hey guys, King of Trimax here, W Judge, your jury, and your analyst, and today I bring to you, this was the best / top team in the Sinnoh Cup for the last time Sinnoh Cup was around, and in the Hisui Cup, can that team really be that good in this current cup with the Hisui Cup? Well, let's find out. The team is Froslass, Gastrodon, and Gastrodon. The reason why this team is so strong is just because it super banks on RPS. But at the same time, Froslass can possibly take back. What you want to do is this team is very alignment heavy. So let's say you get Froslass onto Empoleon. If you're able to Shadow Ball through it Empoleon shields and take it out, you can keep alignment. And that's what alignment is on here. Or your opponent gives up alignment, and then you can take advantage of Bastion and Gastrodon being in the back to take out whatever your opponent offers. Gastrodon will take out the poison types, Bastion will take out Froslass and all the other ice types in this meta. So that's what makes Bastion and Gastrodon such an annoying pain, and their existence literally is what makes this into an RPS fest from hell. So, with that being said, this was the top and the best team. So, can it work in the Hisui Cup? Well, is it still the best in the Hisui Cup? Well, let's find out. It's still really dang good, but it's it's pretty basic. Other than the Froslass matchup of trying to keep alignment, the other two are pretty simple. You just, again, you keep the RPS. You keep rock, paper, scissors. Not too complicated. But before we get started, this is going to be my therapist mental health tip of the day. If you would like to skip this, you could just go ahead and put it through you could just go through the timeline and then skip to the chapter. It's always going to be there. But I say this every time just in case y'all forgot. And for this one, it's using exercise and mental health treatment. So fun fact, one of the two ways to treat major depression or trauma is exercise, and not enough people do exercise. So exercise for your physical health actually helps for your mental health a lot. Your body and your mind are both connected. When your body feels like crap, guess what? Your mind's gonna feel like crap too, and vice versa. So the connection between exercise and mental health well-being has become increasingly obvious as research on the subject grows. So I'm not just telling you this, there's research on this. Unfortunately, most mental health counseling programs don't cover the topic, and as few as 10% of psychotherapists talk to clients about exercise. I will frequently talk to my clients about exercise just because, again, research suggests that exercise can have a significant positive impact on depression, anxiety, eating disorders, addictions, cognitive functioning, and more. Not only can exercise be used to treat these issues, sometimes as well as traditional psychotherapy or medication, but it can also work as a preventative measure. So exercise is incredibly valuable. That's why Pokemon Go, not the PvP aspect, but the casual aspect, can actually be very healthy for you because it got us all to go outside and exercise because we went out to talk and we got to meet friends. So the casual aspect of the game can actually be very healthy for your mental health. I can't speak for the PvP part because that thing's just broken and there's just nothing that doesn't say, oh, we're just going to anxiety bomb you or FOMO the crap out of you by using these legendary poses. But yes, here's this worksheet. If you're thinking about working out, this probably will give you more motivation to get started. I work out 6 days a week, but I also have to do that to make sure this is clear, because when you're a therapist, this is one of the most hardest professions in the world. I already have post-traumatic stress disorder. I don't want more PTSD, or more trauma. So again, like it says here, it can work as a preventative measure. So I use this as kind of my extra chink of armor so that if something happens later down the road, I can go and recognize it, process it, and overcome it. Without further ado, this is the top team for the Sinnoh Cup, and it likely still is for the Hisui Cup because not many changes, and let's get started. Alright, here are the battles. This team, I'm only going to do 4 battles because it doesn't take that much to really get used to it. It's very rock, paper, scissors, and alignment heavy. Right here, we lose the lead against Cresselia. Like I mentioned to you, you're very alignment heavy. Unless you see a Bastiodon, you're not going to switch out. So, unless it's a Bastion on something really bad against Froslass, you can't swap. Because this team really relies on alignment. Or if you do see Bastion, what you're going to do is you're going to switch your own Bastion into them and pray they stay in. That's literally what you do. I'm going straight Shadow Ball in this scenario, just because I'm trying to force out either a Bastion to switch their switch or try to get a Shadow Ball through shields. And we get the Bastion. So now that they swapped off and they gave up alignment, all we're going to do is send in Gastrodon. You don't ever want to really give up alignment in this cup unless you're going to save for a sack swap, or if you've Yeah, unless you just say for a sack swap or you don't want to get farmed down. Those are the two basic scenarios. You're going to fully farm down Bastion as you always do with Gastrodon because you wall everything that Bastion has to offer. And then what you're going to do is you're going to straight body slam here. You're just going to go ahead and just freaking Kenny Omega, Moonsault, I don't know, 450 Splash, that's AJ Styles, and like a bunch of other people use that move as well. And then you're just going to eat the Grass Knot. Grass Knot will one-shot from the green from pretty much almost any range. That's how broken Grass Knot is with Cresselia. And as you see here, you're just going to send in Bastion. I'm going to send in Froslass. You saw how quick that swap is once I saw Lucario. The goal here is to get to 2 Avalanches. This is probably going to be a Shadow Ball, but I don't shield because I'm like, their win condition is to get a Shadow Ball through shields. So I got the win condition. I called the bait in that scenario, and then I'm going to fire the second Avalanche here. Or actually, I'm going to get to a Shadow Ball. Because at this range, even if it's +2, I should be able to get to a Shadow Ball. As you see here, just by like measuring how much damage you do. Once you start battling and once you start getting used to taking fast move damage, you get used to seeing like that range, and you can tell whether or not, it's pretty easy to tell whether or not you're going to get fast move down or if you could survive to the next move. Next up, we got Legend on Legend action. Again, you don't want to give up alignment. We have Froslass and a Gastrodon. Froslass beats Gastrodon, so we win the lead in this scenario. If you win the lead, you stay in, you just realign. It's that simple. We get a Drapion, and all I'm going to do is send in Gastrodon. Now, when it comes to Drapion versus Gastrodon, Drapion can get to a move, so I'm just going to eat one here, but it depends if it's Shadow or not. If they crunch you and they get the debuff, it's very dangerous for you. If they go get the debuff, then what happens, and they Aqua Tail here, you should be able to body slam for the victory, but generally you want to body slam. A Shadow Crunch will hurt a lot, and even if it's not a Shadow Crunch, if you got crunched before, that debuff will hurt a lot now that it's charged up. We got Froslass now, and all we have to do is we're going to just gather as much energy as we can. I made a mistake here. I should have body slammed and knowing that they're going to get to an Avalanche, but that's perfectly fine though. That just means extra farm for Bastion. What you want to do with this team is you always want to wait out till the clock hits 0, because you never know when you might need to realign or swap out into Froslass, as you see here. We're just going to swap into Froslass. Now we got Froslass locked into Gastrodon. Our opponent knows it's pretty much game over just because of the virtue of RPS, like for most of Sinnoh Cup is, and that's GG's. Next up, we got Froslass on a Toxicroak. You know you win this lead. They can go ahead and try to burst their way through with Mud Bomb, but you don't really need to worry about it. Froslass can 2-shield its way through and just triple Avalanche, like the power of the North. I use that reference all the time because of Game of Thrones. And then they send in Drapion. Make sure your reflexes are super fast here. It doesn't have to be like the Flash or like freaking One Punch Man fast. It's just make sure you're very aware of what your opponent switches into. A good thing to look at is that when you look to the top right and you see those typings, usually 9 times out of 10 you're gonna swap out once you see that typing. But be careful because you can also get jebaited. What I'm trying to get used to now is not just look at the typings, but also look at the name. So when you look at what comes in, look at the typings and the name in like a split second. So I'm trying to really practice looking at both of those. We take out the Drapion and then we get Toxicroak. I could double shield here if I want to, but this just allows us they're gonna blow their energy anyways. You're gonna see me wait the timer out and then I'm going to send in Froslass. Unless they have another fighter in the back, it's pretty much game over, but even then, because we have this Toxicroak, it's game. And then we got the mighty Bastion action. However, I do notice something. Our opponent isn't using a fully powered Bastiodon. And my brain is like, are you using a level 50 Basti? And I'm like, I just can't compute. I really don't know what's going on right now. But yes, also, along with looking at the name when you switch in, you should also look at CPs. Because if you look at CPs, you might notice that your opponent actually brought in something wrong. Or there's some kind of mistake, and all you're going to see is probably one of the most terrible mirror matches of all time. A 4-legged, annoying dinosaur with a really... I hate roasting Bastiodon. Especially since my Bastion's done a lot of work for me. Except I hate tap-tap teams. I hate tap-tap teams. I will never use a tap-tap team to climb unless I need to save my time, or I'm busy. Or there's 100 battles and I really want to save my time, so I'm just going to use tap-tap teams. That's basically it. And as you see here, we're just going to flamethrower away. You want to be a little careful though. You generally want to fire first because you don't want to make it so that they get 2 smackdowns through. Whether this is an XL or not, it's actually chunking away at my Bastiodon, so my brain is like, oh, this is kind of bad. As you see here, and then they try to snipe me down, doesn't really work. All I have to do is just farm down this Toxicroak. This is probably going to be a Mud Bomb, but that's perfectly fine. I should be able to get to 2 Avalanches in this stage, or I can Avalanche and Shadow Ball either way. My opponent has to shield though, because they're already in kill range. Our opponent blew their energy from the forward and they sent in trying to snipe us down, but that didn't work. And as you see, we're going to Avalanche. Double Avalanche should kill in the red at this instance, and that's GG's. Yes, an Avalanche will kill in the red. It's resisted, but Froslass also does a lot of attacks. So as you see there, it wasn't quite in kill range, but it was okay because one Powder Snow through came out with a dub. For the final battle, you got Froslass onto Froslass. When you get the mirror match, what happens here is you got to win unless they give up swap. Why they would, I don't know. Never do this. If you get the mirror match again, if you get the mirror match in Froslass, you play it out. Literally play it out. Don't ever swap out. I'll meet the crunch in this instance just because my opponent was like, okay, fine. They're going to give us this Drapion. We're going to body slam down, and then we're going to go ahead, and we're probably going to see that Froslass come in. However, because Froslass gave up alignment, guess what? Froslass is against Bastiodon. So I'm going to go for the Water Pulse here, and then they're going to fire an Avalanche, which is perfectly fine. Even though I didn't get a move on, that's okay. Because even though Avalanche KOs, now we have Froslass realigned onto Bastiodon. RPS, rock, paper, scissors, realign, right? Yes, Rochambeau, whichever one you want to call it. We send in the Bastion. They're probably going to blow all their energy here, which you kind of want them to, because you're going to keep Bastiodon on this Froslass anyways. Since we have our own Froslass in the back, all we have to do is just align Froslass onto whatever comes in, and it is a Gallade. This is perfectly fine, because I should be able to just expend both of my shields, triple Avalanche, and come out with a W. Now, when it comes to 4 move and then two turn moves, what you want to do is you want to be careful on the timing of your shots. You have to fire it when the confusion animation almost ends. That way they don't get any extra moves to. I know, it's dumb, right? But you have to be extra careful on that timing so they don't get any confusions through, because a Gallade will chunk. As you see here, they managed to get a confusion through on me, which really sucks. However, I should be able to get to a 3rd Avalanche here, and then even though that confusion comes through, it will never register because it KOs. If a Mon goes down after it registers, that's GG's. They're likely going to top left because they got me on Bastiodon, and that's game. I hope y'all enjoyed the battles, as RPS as they were. GG's. And that's game. I hope y'all enjoyed the battles. There wasn't much technical analysis in here other than just me showing you how to realign or just like certain kinks here and there. So this team is, again, this team is very RPS heavy, or you're just trying to keep alignment at all costs. Never switch out, or unless you can switch out, however, either unless you have a plan to sack swap or you're trying to save energy, you must be very confident. Because again, in a very RPS heavy cup, thanks to a giant snail and a 4-legged dinosaur known as Barney. I'm just kidding, it's not Barney, it's much worse than that. But hopefully y'all are enjoying your battles. I wouldn't say enjoying so much, because unless you play Open Master League, you don't have a choice with Hisui Cup. So I do feel for y'all. This was a terrible idea by Niantic. I definitely would have played Fossil or other cups a lot more than this one. Although it's really getting me my Stardust pretty quickly, so you know there's a benefit to it. It's like I tell y'all, there are 2 reasons for you to do your battles if you don't care about Legend. Well, making Legends just a bonus, making Legends also kind of viable, but because you know you get your Stardust bonus at the end, but it's just not really worth it's not really worth it. I don't stress 90% when I play Pokemon Go PvP anymore, or just go Battle League in general, because it's Legend. If the majority of Pokemon Go players that play the casual game don't care about PvP and don't care about Legend, I don't care either. So, well, I care a little bit because, you know, you kind of perform, but yeah, it's what it is. But yes, there is no magical formula out there that's going to make you a better player. Quick, fast reflexes, mechanics, knowledge, and general practice will get you and make you become a legend in Pokemon Go PvP. A lot of what's keeping you is here, which was keeping me from before, so don't act like I've been there. Everybody starts there at that point. Then when they start getting good, they start learning more things. They get a little crazier and crazier. The only difference is they don't go out and do Hydreigons in Season 1 like I did, or beaming everything to oblivion like I did to make Legend in Season 1. That's something I can loan my claim to fame. But hopefully y'all, unfortunately having fun like that isn't really possible in Go Battle League anymore because everything's just mega sweaty tryhards. Yeah, basically. But I'd probably do it, yeah. It's really sad what the state of PvP has become, but it's okay. Hopefully Season 12 will become better, but that's hopefully. Do me a huge favor, please like, subscribe, and comment for the YouTube algorithm. I really do appreciate y'all. I'll end up streaming next week though. I don't plan on streaming this week just because it's Hisui Cup, and I kind of want to take a break because we just came out of Go Fest last week. So, and I need to catch up on a few things too with like work, and school. But hope y'all enjoyed the video. Again, good luck on your Go Battle League sets, and I will see y'all on the next video.